Hi, I'm Tommy.
And I'm Paul.
Welcome to our podcast, Dementia from the Inside Out. Hello, and welcome to everyone around the world, and welcome to our podcast, Dementia from the Inside Out. I'm Tommy Dunn.
And I'm Paul Hitchmo.
Today we'd like to talk to you about why humour is important in dementia care.
Yeah, we feel when you get a diagnosis of dementia, then you don't just want to switch off. You want to keep on doing the normal things, what you do, and humour and comedy and stuff like that really sets your brain alight and makes you laugh and gives you a nice feeling to set up your day or your evening.
It may seem strange that we want to talk about humour and dementia in the same sentence, but we actually believe that this is a more holistic approach to dementia rather than giving medication all the time. The importance of laughter should not be underestimated in dementia care.
And Tommy and I have had plenty of that, which we'll explain later on.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some weird experiences. Do you mind if I tell you the story of when I was on the bus?
Go on, Tom.
Yeah. I got on a bus one day and I have a disabled pass, so I sat on the disabled seat. And on the opposite seats, on the long seats, there was a man and a woman. And the woman whispered something to the man. So the man nodded his head, and then he shouted across to me, "Oi, excuse me." So I said, "What?" He said, "You can't sit there." I said, "Why not?" He said, "Those seats are for disabled people." I said, "I am disabled." He said, "You don't look disabled." I said, "You don't look stupid." You know, so this is the thing about it. People see us and they think that we look healthy and that. They can't see the disability, and that's the problem, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, that's a big problem. That sets things off. Dementia is classed as a disability, but when people see the likes of me and Tommy, who were diagnosed with early onset, they just think, well, we're normal, and it's when we do the things that are wrong, or our minds telling us to do different things, that the fun starts really. So again, we'll get into that shortly about personal things what have happened, and also just talk about the past, all the people of our age looked at the television and the cinema.
Yeah, I mean, people often say to me, "I don't know how to talk to a person with dementia." Well, I say, "Well, use humour." You know, we always retain our sense of humour. In fact, I think our sense of humour actually gets better since we get diagnosed, because we see things more humorous than they actually are. And that's why we need people to have a laugh with us. Not laugh at us, but actually laugh with us.
Yeah, I think Tommy's right there, especially after a few pints of Guinness and a glass of red wine. It does enhance your senses. Sorry for the NHS for saying that, but it's true.
And I mean, that's another misconception of people think that, we shouldn't be allowed to have a drink or socialise with people and do things that normal people do.
Yeah, very true. But I think people of our age look back with fond memories of stuff on the TV, especially the likes of maybe Steptoe and Son, which was on black and white started off in the 60s, and they were absolutely hilarious, the things they got up to, and that's even without dementia. But remember the football one, Tommy, when old Harold's father split the house into two, and put a hatch in. But the television was on his side, and so they wouldn't talk to each other. But then the World Cup come on, and then the hatch was getting opened, and Harold was shouting through all the time, "What's the score? What's the score?" And then he'd shut the hatch and wouldn't tell him, and it was absolutely the hilarious sketch.
I still watch Steptoe and Son on television now, because with the way television is now, all them programs are still out there for people to watch. And with the advent of YouTube, you can watch any episode of any series that you used to watch. You know, the Carry On film. Remember the Carry On films? They were so funny.
Yeah, I used to love them. Yeah, I still love them. Even I love all the black and white stuff as well. It seems to be a bit of a comfort to me, memory wise, and it's a strange thing because. Tommy and I can remember a lot of words from the 60s, lyrics from the songs, and have a good sing-song, and which is what we do in our group as well. We have plenty of sing-songs back from the stuff back in the 60s. But you can always remember your favourite actors as well, and the names. It's kind of weird. I mean, in the present is where we make mistakes, but in the past, it's like a comfort zone to us. You know, even watching things like The Prisoner, you know, it's Patrick McGowan's on, and you're made up because you can remember his name, and then
and his number.
It's a nice comfort.
Yeah, I mean, we've been very lucky here in Liverpool, because Liverpool's a bed of comedian. Everyone in Liverpool's a comedian. Absolutely a comedian. We've got the famous Ken Dodd.
Yeah, genius.
Jimmy Tarbuck.
Yeah.
Tom O'Connor.
Yeah.
Remember Arthur Askey?
Yeah.
To be a healthy grown-up, busy bee, making hay while time is ripe, building up the honeycomb just like tripe.
Who's your favourite though? And your favourite is?
Eddie Flanagan.
Eddie Flanagan. You would say Eddie Flanagan.
He said, no, double glazing. I said, well, we've got it. He said, what's it like? I said, it's great. Don't use the feather or nothing. He said, well, that's what I've come to see you about. He said, you've had it 4 years and you haven't paid nothing off it yet. I said, well, when you put it in, you told me it paid for itself in 12 months.
Funny man.
Yeah. So again, getting back to memories, you know, if you're feeling a little bit low, then you can just put these on YouTube and your day will be fine.
There's loads of humorous songs out there as well. Remember, there's a hole in my bucket.
Yeah.
My Old Man's a Dustman.
Yeah.
You know, great funny songs that people can listen to,
Yeah.
you know. And Charlie Drake, when he was doing a sketch, you know, The Worker, that was so funny. It just came back to me. That's really funny.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of days ago, I watched a couple of Norman Wisdom films, and I'd probably not everyone's cup of tea, but I just laughed so much at him, the stupid things he gets into. And it was funny because it gave me a good memory, because I think it was 1958 or 59 when I was a small child. My mum took me to the Empire to watch the pantomime, and Norman Wisdom was on with Ruby Murray. If anyone remembers Ruby Murray, the singer, the Irish girl. But I was telling my lads about it years ago, and they like Norman Wisdom. They're grown up now, you know, successful businessmen and everything else. But I took him, Norman Wisdom was on the Empire, must have been about 20 years ago, and he did exactly the same show as what he did in the pantomime, slapstick and telling jokes and playing all the musical instruments. But he was so funny, and we all loved it. We had a smashing night just watching him live, you know. I mean, sadly, he's passed away now, but he's left lots of memories for me.
Yeah, I watched a film the other day with Eric Sankson called The Plank with Tommy Cooper.
I remember.
And there's no words in it, and it's so funny. It was just so, and it's just two fellas walking a plank through London, the streets of London, and it was just hilarious, the things they got into. So visual comedy is a must for us.
Yeah, I remember Spike Milligan, there's a fly in my soup, and eventually he shot the fly in the soup plate. That was a funny sketch. I mean, I'm sure people listening to this podcast will possibly remember all these humorous moments, because again, you know, it's just so lovely to sit down with a cup of tea and just watch them. You know, particularly if the weather's bad outside or you don't feel that good. You know, just put the films on or the series and enjoy yourself. Have a laugh at the past.
Yeah, I used to love Tony Hancock's Half Hour. And the moment he did the blood donor, it was so funny.
Oh, the blood. He was terrified, wasn't he?
And he went in and they took the sample of the blood and he went, well, that wasn't too bad. And he said, no, you got to give more. You got to give a pint. A pint? A pint? That's a whole armful. You can't take a pint of blood out of anyone. He was hilarious.
Yes, happy days. But again, moving on, we've got a couple of stories, funny stories what happened to us.
I remember a story about supermarkets. I don't like going into shops at the best of times, but my wife wanted some bread, so she said, will you just run in and get some bread? Now, as you know, we don't do money, so I had a big pocket full of change. So I went in, I got the bread, and we have a little card which says, I've got Alzheimer's, I need help with money. So I got to the checkout, I showed the girl the card, it says, I've got Alzheimer's, I need help. I put my hand out with the money, and I put the bread on. So she looks at me, she looked at the card, she looked at the money, she looked at me, she looked at the card, she looked at the money, and then she presses the tannoy. Tracy, can you come and help this man? He's got dementia. I'm trying to keep a low profile, and everyone's looking at me now. And so I'm thinking, I'll have to look around and see who I can blame who's got the dementia there. But it was all on me.
500 people looking at you.
It was like being on stage and the spotlight coming on and you were just there. But, you know, that's how people don't know about dementia.
I think supermarkets are the bane of our lives. I mean, I went into one. I only used the one. I won't tell you who it is, but it begins with M. And so I was in there, and every aisle was changed. So I went up to one of the ladies who was walking round, and I said, "Why do you keep changing the aisles?" I said, "You know, I use you all the time." And she said, I actually thought I was in the one beginning with them, but I wasn't. I was in the another supermarket, which is down the road to it, beginning with A. So it was me who was in the wrong one, and I was giving the lady down the bank, you know, and was sounding humorous to me, but she wasn't very happy. I was in the wrong supermarket. But getting back to the one with begins with M, I walked down from my house one day, and I went in and I wanted just a bit of cod or whiting to my tea, because I like white fish. So it goes up to the fish counter, and just as I got there, there's a side door, and the guy all dressed in white, the fishmonger, was walking out the door, and he'd left the door open, the side door. So I waited there, and I waited for about 10 minutes, and I'm getting agitated, because I get agitated quite easy if things aren't happening quickly. So I'm there, and I must have been there over 10 minutes, and the fish is right in front of me, so I thought, what the hell with this? So I walked round behind the counter, and I got all the white paper, and I picked a piece of fish up with my hand, nice piece of cod, and put it on there, and I thought, I said, well, I'll pay at the counter, I'll just tell this, it's fish. But just as I looked up, there's an old lady, an old friend of me mother's, and she said, "Hello, Paul." She said, "Didn't know you worked there." I said, "I don't." So she said, "What you doing behind there?" So I said, "I'm getting a piece of fish." So she said, well, I only want some prawns. Can you do us a few prawns? I said, no, I don't work here. And I was getting flustered then, so I had the fish. Anyway, so I walked out the door, straight to the counter, and then I heard these feet running behind me. Oi, oi, oi. It was the fishmonger that had come back, and he'd seen me. So he was shouting. I said to the girl, look, I'll pay for it. It's wrapped up. I said, it's fish. She said, I can't. And he's going, you stole fish. And then the manager come over, and then all hell broke loose. And then anyway, he barred me out, or tried to bar me out. But then they give me card, look, I'm sorry. I just got agitated waiting, it won't happen again. So it was all smoothed over. But when I went for a drink in the evening, I told everybody, do it on the floor laughing. So now you're a fishmonger, are you? Apart from getting thrown off trains and this, that, and the other, like, so, I mean, that's like, Tommy and I advocate making new memories as well, so that's one of the newest ones, not the old ones. But again, it was a funny, when I look back, could have got a little bit worse, but it was a funny moment.
Yeah. You know, it's really, really important that you talk to the person living with dementia, because they've got some great stories to tell. I mean, we never always had televisions, you know, so people used to make their own entertainment by telling stories. My mum, she used to tell some really, really funny stories. And one of the funniest ones she used to tell us was about the time she went to her grandfather's farm. And she always wanted to fly, my mum. So she seen the hens, so she grabbed one of the hens, climbed up on top of the chicken coop, put the chicken between her legs, held out its wings and jumped off and squashed the prize hen. So, the way my mum tells it, it's really funny, you know, because she uses the male hen.
Things what used to happen years ago. But I think, you know, getting back into the old films, what we both enjoy, you know, the likes of I love Peter Sellers and in the Pink Panther. It was so funny, the things he got up to. Inspector Clouseau, yeah, and he used to drive the police inspector mad, didn't he? Because he could never catch him, but he knew what was going on all the time. But yeah, I used to love them. The Beverly Hillbillies, remember them?
The Beverly Hillbillies. I mean, it was just pure comedy that, you know, it still ages today. It still carries today, doesn't it? You know,
it still does, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about humour and comedy. It transcends the ages and the age gap. That's why you should be making a life story book about the person's life. You know, what they used to do, what their job was, because everyone's got funny stories from work, haven't they? You know, from when they were at work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, the dockers in Liverpool, they used to have nicknames for everyone, you know. They'd have a nickname, there was one fella called Diesel, because everywhere he went, he'd nick stuff and he'd go, Diesel due for the mother, Diesel due for me sister, Diesel due for me. You know, and stuff. Yeah. They were really funny names like that, weren't they?
Yeah. Well, that was like when you think about the old Liverpool, it was it still is a city full of humour and friendliness, isn't it? And so yeah, there's the Dockers were a really funny sect of people, if I can put it that way. Yeah. Still are, by the way.
Yeah, we used to have a fellow in work. He used to always be off every Friday, and he'd be in work and he'd get a phone call saying, he'd say, I've got to get home, my nippers are bad. So we used to call him the sick lobster.
Oh, yeah. So these are the things what, you know, I think what stay in your memory, don't they? Particularly, you know, the likes of personal things, what happened to you. And again, getting back to new memories, I think it's very important to to remember those as well as the old stuff.
Yeah, I mean, well, we actually look at it like, if you don't make new memories, dementia will start taking your older memories. So you've got to be putting new memories in every day. So That's why we advocate, do not sit on that couch, do not sit in the house, get out and about.
Exactly.
And, you know, you're a great advocate of walking. I still play golf, so I get my walking, but you like to walk 6-7 miles a day, don't you?
Yeah.
Because a healthy mind, healthy body helps a healthy mind.
We hope.
Yeah. I mean, people should never give up on a person living with dementia. You know, people are under this impression that once you're diagnosed, the first day, you go straight into the latter stages of dementia. There's a lot of years where like nothing happens in between it. You're waiting for it, and that's the worst part.
Yeah.
You're waiting for the end rather than saying, right, I've got it. Let's do something about it now.
Yeah. Well, that's another debate for us in the future, isn't it? You know,
It is.
and a big debate.
Positivity, yeah.
Positivity and hope, yeah.
Yeah, because it's one thing we won't have is negativity in our dementia.
So, is that goodbye from me?
And it's goodbye from me.
See you next time.
Being just as busy as a bee can be, flying all around the wild hedgerows, stinging all the cows upon the parson's nose. Honeybee, honeybee, if you like, but won't sting me. Honeybee, honeybee, if you like, but won't sting me.